My entire family and my entire childhood were directly impacted by the Japanese-American incarceration of World War II. 125,000 people were criminalized and sent to prison camps with no charges, no trial, no due process. I was raised behind barbed wire fences with sentry towers and searchlights, iron cots, communal mess halls, showers, and latrines. But I was a child, too young to understand the barbarity of these prisoners of war camps. It became normal to me. When the war ended, my parents had lost everything and were forced to start over from nothing. The public hostility was still intense, and I was no longer a child. My father, who had suffered the most under those conditions, carefully shared his understanding of American democracy with me. It was a people's democracy, he said, as great as a people can be, but as fallible as people are. American democracy, he told me, is vitally dependent on good people who cherish the ideals of our system and actively engage in making our democracy work, which is how I would come to appreciate that the ACLU of Southern California had been at work that whole time. Individual staff attorneys such as A.L. Weirin and Wayne Collins were outraged by the exclusion and incarceration of innocent Japanese Americans. My family is especially indebted to Wayne Collins. My mother's U.S. citizenship had been forcefully wrested from her by the government. Had it not been for the intervention and strong representation, my family might have been on a deportation ship to war-ravaged Japan. Collins, Weirin, and others at ACLU worked to identify petitioners and claimants to bring these injustices before the courts and to bring them justice. In collaboration and healthy competition with the ACLU of Northern California, Weirin and Collins were central figures in fielding and testing cases that ultimately allowed for the famous Korematsu case to be heard at the Supreme Court. Even after the National ACLU wobbled, the entire West Coast ACLU stayed firm in its defense of Japanese Americans. Korematsu proved to be a complicated and notoriously dark chapter in Supreme Court history that would not be overruled until 2018. But beyond this disappointment, Weirin, Collins, and other advocates and allies remain vigilant on behalf of thousands, truly countless Japanese American claimants. These were clients whose stories never made headlines, and yet the West Coast ACLU persevered on their behalf to lift employment restrictions, housing restrictions, recover bank accounts, thousands of seemingly small claims that would rescue families, restore our community, and renew our faith in our democracy.